We ready, Natalie?
Just a
Hit the
second.
thumbs up and then just hit the middle so it turns blue whenever she moves.
Okay, we're good. Hit the sound.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the public hearing pursuant to section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code and section 859-8 of the General Municipal Law. It is for the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation, Woodland Pond Incorporated, Town and Village, New Paltz, Ulster County, New York, March 17th, 2025. It is now 4:36 p.m. here at the New Paltz Village Hall, located at 25 Plattekill Avenue in the Town and Village of New Paltz, Ulster County, New York. Good evening. My name is Michael Ham. I'm the chair of Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation. I'm also the hearing officer for this public hearing being held in connection with the project, which is the subject of this public hearing. Could we please all at this time stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Mission statement of the UCCRC is the mission statement of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation is to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of Ulster County, primarily through issuing and selling bonds for the nonprofit institutions. At this time, I'd like to introduce our staff, Natalie Lamelia. I stand corrected again. Okay, I'm getting that better. What's her name? Chris Canada, our counsel. Hillary, our Nichols, our executive director. I also like to point out in the crowd that there's Stephen Kelly and Randall Laverick from our board. At this time, with opening remarks, we are holding this public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record relating to the involvement with the issue of the project for Woodland Pond Incorporated, DBA Woodland Pond at New Paltz, a New York not-for-profit corporation. I would like to note that as required by law, the issuer is live streaming this public hearing. Chris Canada of Hodgkin Russ, LLP, counsel to us, will provide information of the issuer's legal authority to hold this public hearing. A description of the proposed project, the purpose of the public hearing, and the issuer's next steps. Once Chris is finished, I will then open up the public hearing for comments. Chris?
Thank you, Mike. The issuer is a New York not-for-profit corporation created pursuant to section 1411 of the Not-for-Profit Corporation Law of the State of New York as amended. Pursuant to the provisions of this act and Revenue Ruling 57-487 and Private Letter Ruling 2009-36012, the County Legislature of Ulster County, New York adopted a resolution on March 2nd of 2010, authorizing the corporation to issue under the Enabling Act and appointing initial members of the board of directors of the issuer. In May 2010, a certificate of incorporation was filed with the New York Secretary of State's office, creating the issuer as a public instrumentality of Ulster County, New York. The proposed project consists of the following: certain capital improvements to facilities, referred to hereinafter as the existing facilities, situated on the borrower's approximately 86-acre campus located to the west, North Putt Corners Road between Shivertown Road and Erman Lane in the village and town of New Paltz, Ulster County, New York, referred to hereinafter as the existing land, including the construction and renovation of approximately 400,000 square foot building located on the existing land. The construction of certain additions to the existing building located thereon, containing an aggregate of approximately 22,000 square feet for wellness, arts, dining, and healthcare amenities, and the acquisition and installation thereon and therein of machinery and equipment. The acquisition of interest in approximately 17 acres of real property located adjacent to and south of the existing land bordering North Putt Corners Road, Erman Lane, and George Danskin Way in the village and town of New Paltz, Ulster County, New York. And the payment of certain planning, design, architectural and engineering expenditures related to the potential development of the new land, all of which are going to be owned and operated by the borrower for use as a continuing care retirement community under Article 46 of the New York Public Health Law and any other directly and indirectly related activities. The financing of all or a portion of the costs of the foregoing by the issuance of tax-exempt and or taxable revenue bonds to the issuer in one or more issues or series in the aggregate principal amount sufficient to pay a portion of the cost of undertaking the project, together with necessary incidental costs in connection with, estimated between $23 million in any event not to exceed $25 million. The paying of a portion of the cost incidental to the issues of these obligations, including issuance costs and obligations, and any reserve funds may be necessary to secure the obligation. Granting of certain other financial assistance with respect to the foregoing, including exemption from circuit board recording taxes, and the making of a loan of the proceeds of obligations to the borrower or such other person as may be designated by the public hearing on the nature and location of the project facility and the issuance of such obligations, and be it New York must approve the issuance of such obligations. Additionally, pursuant to the certificate of incorporation of the issuer, prior to the issuer providing the financial assistance, the issuer, among other things, must hold a public hearing in accordance with the guidelines set forth in section 859A of the general municipal law with respect to the project. For clarification purposes, I would like to state that the obligations of the issuer issued with respect to the proposed project will not be obligations of the state of New York or any municipality thereof, including the county. In addition, the obligation of the issuer will not be a general obligation of either issuer or the county. The obligations are not an obligation of the county or the taxpayer. After consideration of the application, the members of the issuer adopted a resolution on February 19, 2025, referred to hereinafter as the preliminary and use of resolution, authorizing the executive director of the issuer to, among other things, conduct this public hearing with respect to the proposed project pursuant to section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code and section 859A2 of the Act. The executive director of the issuer caused a copy of the certified preliminary and use of resolution to be mailed on March 5th, 2025 to the chief executive officer of the county, the town and village of New Paltz, and the New Paltz Central School District, collectively referred to hereinafter as the effective taxpayers. The executive director of the issuer caused notice of this public hearing to be A, mailed on March 5th, 2025, the chief executive officers of the affected tax jurisdictions.
Slow down.
I'm sorry. And B, published on March 6, 2025 in the Daily Freeman, a newspaper of general circulation available to the residents of town and village of New Paltz, Ulster County, New York. In addition, the executive director of the issuer caused notice of this public hearing to be posted on March 5, 2025 on the issuer's website, and March 7, 2025 on a public bulletin board located at the New Paltz Village Hall, located at 25 Black Hill Avenue in the town and village of New Paltz, Ulster County, New York. Copies of the notice of this public hearing are available in this room. We have made arrangements for a stenographer to be present in order to actively make a record of the public comments. The purpose of this public hearing is to solicit input with respect to the proposed project. We are not here to answer questions, although in the course of the hearing we will consider questions if we have the information to answer same and there is sufficient time to consider such questions. Now, unless there is any objection, I'm going to suggest waiving the full reading of this notice, this public hearing, and instead request that the full text and notice of this public hearing be inserted into the record of this public hearing. The issuer will consider the proposed project at a subsequent meeting of the issuer currently scheduled for March 19, 2025 at 9 a.m. And at such meeting, the issuer will also consider the comments received at this public hearing. Such meeting, like all meetings of the issuer, are open to the general public. The notice of this public hearing indicated that written comments could be addressed to Hillary Nichols, Executive Director. At this time, the issuer has not received any written comments. I will now return the floor to Mr. Ham for the purpose of recognizing any citizens in attendance wishing to make a public comment.
Thank you, Chris. Remarks by the affected taxing jurisdiction. If there's anyone here from the affected taxing jurisdiction who would like to comment, please comment now. No. The record states there's no one here.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So the meeting where we're going to consider this, the meeting we're going to consider adopting the resolution to issue the bonds that we're talking about is being moved to March 26th.
At 9.
Thank you.
With no one here representing the affected taxing jurisdictions, is there any remarks by the board? Michelle?
I don't think I have anything to add, but if there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. I appreciate you taking the time tonight.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so open public hearing.
it would be helpful if you gave like a quick 5-minute spiel of the project that's there and stuff.
Just describe in brief detail. Sure. Should I go to the podium? If you'd like.
Wherever you want.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna talk about that.
And then just state your name and affiliation for the record.
Sure thing. My name is Michelle Gormolia with a G. I am the president and CEO of Woodland Pond at New Falls. Again, thank you very much for being here tonight. I will be happy to give a couple of minutes on what we're trying to accomplish here. I know a lot of you are familiar with this, but Woodland Pond is a continuing care retirement community here in New Falls. We opened in 2009 and we'll be 16 years old in September. During that time, obviously the community has aged and the needs and desires of our existing residents and future residents, which are age 62 and up in 4 levels of care, have evolved. And we are full with waiting lists in every area of our community. So our cash flow capability and borrowing capacity has improved such to where we can take on additional indebtedness to support the renovation of the community spaces on campus, as described, and also to investigate an opportunity for an expansion of our independent living units, which would be handled the actual construction, should it be deemed financially and fiscally appropriate, would be a later borrowing. As relates to the renovation, we are renovating roughly 22,000 square feet, but that 22,000 also includes 10 smaller additions on campus. The centerpiece of which is a brand new state-of-the-art performing arts center, which will be an adjacent but new portion of the building right in front of our campus. And our residents are, really, really into all things theatrical, performance, art. So we're very excited about that. We're also looking at significantly enhancing our wellness offerings in addition to the indoor pool that we currently have. The plans contemplate adding a gymnasium / pickleball, indoor pickleball court, a wellness lounge, which will be a quiet space, a full service salon, new gym equipment, variety of things in that regard. And then generally speaking, it completely enhancing our dining options for the residents. That's in the phase 1 in the financing that we're talking about now. There is another whole portion to renovate the health center and a potential second financing down the road, but our existing debt capacity will cover these costs. Any questions?
No, yeah, that's great.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'm sorry, can I spell your last name for me?
GRAMOGLIA.
So at this time, I'll now open the public hearing for public comment. It is 4:49 p.m. By the way of operating rules, if you wish to make a public comment, please raise your hand and I'll call upon you. Please wait to be recognized. Once you're recognized, please stand up, state your name and address for the record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes so that all that are present today may have a chance to comment for the record. If your comments mirror those of someone who's already spoken, you may still indicate and relinquish the podium to another speaker so that all who is represented is here and you can hear it. When everyone had an opportunity to speak, I will conclude the public hearing. A record of this public hearing will be prepared and reviewed by the members of the issuer in connection with the issuer's consideration of the proposed project. Also, as indicated above, a copy of the record for this public hearing will also be presented to the county executive. Again, the purpose of this public hearing is to solicit public comment. We are not here to answer questions. However, we will, during the course of this public hearing, consider questions if we have the information to answer the questions, and there is sufficient time to consider such questions. I will now ask if there is anyone in attendance who wishes to comment on either the nature and the location of the project facility or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the issuer with respect to the proposed project. For the record, please state your name and indicate your comments on either the proposed project or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated by the issuer with respect to the proposed project, including but not limited to the issuance of the obligations for the purpose of assisting in financing the proposed project. This time, is there anyone that would like to give public comment?
I would like you.
For the record.
Thanks.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
My name is Stephen Kelly, that's Stevenkelly. I'm a resident of Ulster County, and I've had a family member living in Woodland Pond for a number of years. My father, he was a school teacher, a shop teacher here in New Falls. He passed away, but he had an incredibly great experience living at Woodland Pond. So I'm speaking in support of this project, which will enhance the living conditions for the people who live at Woodland Pond. As described by Ms. Maya, this is going to enhance their experience. It will make the facility more desirable for people to go there, and based on their waiting list, it already is pretty desirable. And so I just would like to talk about the strength and value that this organization brings to our community by having these facilities available and utilized by so many people, most of which I believe are from the general area. So those are my comments. I'm speaking in favor of this.
Thank you, Steve. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Well, we're going to leave this public comment open until 5:04 p.m. Anyone that comes in can speak. Close to 15 minutes, can I end? Why?
That's how you start, we started at 4.
4:34, but I thought it was at the time of introducing public hearing.
No.
Okay.
So it's been 15 minutes since we started.
So if there's no further comments, I will now close the public hearing at 4:53 p.m. And I thank you all for attending.